What did we see? About 5 hours ago.
We saw Deadpool.
Yes.
We died.
The reason it took about 5 hours. Last night we spent the night in Belfast.
Belfast.
So if you saw our tweets
City
about
of Cranes.
yes,
If you get that, you're awesome.
we had like bagpipers outside our hotel room.
There was, for some reason, it was like about 12 o'clock. It was midnight.
No, later than that sometimes.
Like,
he was there for a while.
Well, he started around midnight. There was a man playing bagpipes in the square, literally like right below our hotel room, like right outside this pub. And for a while,
he was decent.
Yeah, he wasn't that bad.
Until he started drinking too much, and then he got a bit crap.
Yeah, but so we were in Belfast. So this morning, well, afternoon-ish,
we went to see Deadpool, which I believe it was the first showing in Belfast.
La, 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 la.
So,
although not really first, because Film Brain saw it probably about around the same time that we did.
Yeah.
We tweeted about it.
So we saw it, and then the camera was left here. So it's
in Derry.
It's a 90-minute bus journey, and so we rushed to the bus depot, and I leapt on the next one to Derry, not realizing that we got the wrong one, and it took us 3 hours to get home instead of 90 minutes.
Basically, like the one that we go goes from Derry to Belfast, back via Dungiven. This one went hoity toity 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 toity. Oh, look at Loch Lake. Doity 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 doity. Oh, let's just wander up through Oma. We were like, oh.
Yeah. And it's all back streets. Northern Ireland has one piece of highway.
One. And it's near
it's about 20 miles long.
I'm not even
That's
joking.
Only part of it. It takes about 10 minutes to drive down. The rest of it, B roads and back roads.
You have to go through every piddling little village. We passed a road sign for a town called 6 Mile Cross. All one word. That's about the time where you were like, where the fuck are we? And then you Googled and you found out.
I looked up luckily we had Wi-Fi on the bus, otherwise we would have been panicking. Where the fuck in Ireland are we going?
I'm coming up on the end of my 4G. I'm like, are we in the Republic? Are those like Republic of Ireland sheep, or are they Northern Ireland sheep?
Because we both realized we were not in the right... Anyway.
No, because I saw some of the landmarks that I see on the way back from Dublin, which is why I'm like, are we heading northwest? It was, but so here we are, we saw Deadpool, so.
Yes, the last bit of power on my phone, I managed to use the Wi-Fi and get a copy of the bus timetable and work out what the fuck was going on.
So you're getting this now.
Yes.
And then we're going to make spaghetti.
This is going to be short because...
Short and sweet. Like a penis. Like a penis reference
like
in Deadpool. No.
Penis-shaped lollipop.
I don't know.
Because I'm guessing a lollipop pop is sweeter than a penis.
You can buy them, probably at sex shops, I'm sure.
Unless you get a penis that you've dipped in powdered sugar, which, you know...
If you've eaten a penis lolly...
That's like a gay male version of Sugar High Glitter City.
It is. But anyway, yeah, if you've eaten a penis lolly, right, sure. But, so yeah, we saw Deadpool.
She went into this being all like, I'm gonna hate this because I'm all po-faced.
No, that's not what I said. I said I don't like the whole, he breaks the fourth wall. It's so crazy because self-referential humor can be done well. Terry Pratchett is a very good literary example of, like, you'll read something, asterisk, read the footnote, look up, and you'll break the fourth wall. You're like, really? Well. But, like, sometimes when it's done visually, it either comes across as really pathetic, or like, you see what I did there?
I'm Zach Morris.
You see? Yeah, huh? Do you get it? Do you get what I said? You're like, yes, we get it. Thank you. Also, I really, and this is a thing left over from when I was a LARPer, I dislike he's crazy. What'll he do next? It's gonna be wacky and kooky, just like real mental illness. And being 2/3 of a psychologist, technically speaking.
I'm no thirds of a psychologist.
Well, anyway, no, like, I really, really, really dislike that whole thing, like, oh, he was mentally broken, now he's kooky and crazy. That's not, I don't like the whole portrayal of crazy, lunacy, madness as just something wacky and endearing. Because mental illness is so infrequently like that, and I think that damages the ideals of what mental illness is, and that leads to stigmatization of people with mental illness. And they're like, why are you suffering with suicidal ideation? Why can you not drag yourself out of bed to take a shower? You can't be mentally ill. You're not bouncing off the walls and talking about chimichangas. So that's my issue, and that's what I came into the film with.
Yeah, because I tried to explain it on the way down to Belfast.
I was like, yeah, whatever. But, I mean, I know it's a popular character, and apparently everyone who had seen a pre-screening said that it was really good, so I was expecting it to be good. But I was not but I didn't think I'd be like, wow, that's great, I want to read every Deadpool comic, because I don't feel that way. But it was a good script. It was very tight, very witty. The jokes are very topical. Okay, they'll be dated in, like, 6 or 7 years, but...
Meh. It was very accurate to the character. You know, not often you get a comic book movie which takes a character who is as offbeat as Deadpool and does it accurately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the MCU likes to do that sort of thing, although they sort of usually chisel off some of the hard edges in the characters to make it a bit nicer. But this is the first time that the Fox Marvel Universe has ever really embraced the interestingness of a character and really ran with it. All the other ones, the Fantastic Four ones, all the X-Men ones, on some level they're trying to make it more mainstream.
You know who Deadpool needs to know from the MCU? He needs to know Ant-Man's Hispanic friend.
Oh yeah,
the cousin that always goes and like they do highbrow things and find out about like incredibly dastardly crimes that way.
Yeah,
that needs to happen. Someone make that happen. But no, I mean it was really good. It looked good, but then again, what doesn't these days? The CGI was good. Credits were good. Although we saw that they thanked the city of Quebec and British and Vancouver. Is Vancouver British Columbia?
I think so.
Something like that. If you're Canadian, write the show.
You got too many provinces, dude.
Yeah, but then we were like, oh no, we'll have to watch the credits again in French. That didn't happen. There's an after-credit sequence to stay for it.
Two. Technically, although it's only like 1 second between them, and they're connected.
Yeah.
But,
There's 2 X-Men in it, one of whom I'd never heard of, and had to be explained.
Well, Negasonic Teenage Warhead was in, like, 1 issue, and she was killed, and that wasn't even her power. I think they just took the name from this character just to stick to... Then they essentially gave it the power, gave it to Cannonball. Because
the actress who played her well.
Yeah, I liked her. I want to see her in the main X-Men universe. Although with them being stuck in the 80s right now, it's not really going to work. It is really weird that Deadpool is the only modern X-Men film we got right now. You know, Old Man Logan apparently is set in the future.
I liked him bitching about the X-Men. That made me happy. I don't sit around in a mansion all day. Just saying.
Yeah, listening to some, Heaven's Gate-looking motherfucker. Which one are you talking about? Patrick Stewart?
He does though, like a little teeny.
He's like, I missed it. I missed a couple of words, but I'm pretty sure he was talking about the difference between the 2 versions of Professor Xavier.
And there's this one guy who he said looked like a child molester, who actually he did look like a child molester, and then he made a joke about Jared from Subway, and I was like, because Jared from Subway got done for child porn. It's funny, but it's also horrible, but it's also dated, but it's funny and it's topical, and yeah.
And it is okay as my 3 favorite.
I mentioned Voltron, which made my little heart happy.
My 3 favorite X characters are, X-Men, are, Broad X universe, Colossus, Shadowcat, and Wolfsbane. Still waiting to see Wolfsbane in a film. She's awesome. She turns into a wolf.
So she's a werewolf?
Basically, mutant werewolf, yes. Oh, yeah, and she has control over whether to be in Krynos or, wolf form or whatever.
Well, all good werewolves do.
And she's Scottish. You've got her, you've got Shadowcat is Ellen Page.
Is she pretendy Billy Connolly Scottish, or is she like Glasgow Scottish?
She's from rural Scotland.
Oh, so like...
rural small-town Scotland.
Like really thick Highland...
Well, every single foreign character in comic books is written with a really, really thick, insane, crazy accent that the people from that country don't actually have, just to make it clear that they're not supposed to be American.
Oh.
So, that's why Gambit, every second fucking word, says showy. Things like that. So when you read her, she says that instead of what.
But the Cajuns are American.
Oh, I know, but it's still an accent.
I know.
They're trying to come. They're trying to get it through in word balloons and stuff. So they do incredibly. Their accents don't actually sound like they really do in real life.
Someone should make a webcomic of us, and then have my speech bubbles be filled with like the phonetic interpretation of Philadelphia, like Delaware County English.
Give them some examples.
If you're a cartoonist,
Great, sure, do this.
Do this. No, he's got other fish to fry right now. But like, I don't know. Like, apparently I talk very differently. Like, what did I say today that you were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, she asked me what time it was. And I said, it's 20 of. What?
And you've said it before, and I constantly forget whether 20 of means 22 or 20 past. And
it's 20 of the hour. It's not 20 past the hour.
I don't know why of means before.
Because it's what you say.
Well, it's what you say. It doesn't have a connection with that to me.
That's what I say. No, it's like, but like if you say it's quarter of, no. it's or quarter after. That's like 3:15.
Quarter after. I can work that out. Although I don't say that, I can work that out. It's quarter of has no before connection with me. I'm sorry.
Well,
maybe it's an old English thing that somehow survived in Philadelphia that made sense back then. I don't know. Maybe someone invented it whenever.
Deadpool would say quarter of.
Maybe Philadelphia, they drank some, mercury or something, and people went crazy, and then they decided to stick with it because it was fun. I don't know. But okay, Shadowcats are the favorite, and third one is Colossus, and
gingerly sipping from my spoon.
It was acceptable to see Colossus in X-Men 2, 3, and Days of Future Past being played by Daniel Cudmore, as a 6'2" American. I was like, I was, really bitched when I first saw X-Men 2. I was like,
you bitched about something.
Why?
I'm shocked.
Colossus is Russian.
Shocked.
And this one, the part of my mind which is all about continuity is irritated that they've replaced Colossus' actor. They've completely changed his look, and they've made him Russian, they made him accurate to the comic. So that is wonderful, but my continuity part of my brain is like, oh, not same universe. But it is a lovely...
It's comic books, though. You were telling me there's 50 basquillion different Marvel universes. They're all numbered and indexed.
It's possible that the Deadpool verse will be different from the main Fox X universes.
Whatever.
It might be a different...
This is why comics are inaccessible. There's not just some wiki I can just read that can tell me every single thing about Wolverine.
Actually, thinking about it, the Deadpool verse is probably separate from the X-Men universe. God. Because X-Men, Wolverine Origins X-Men, he was 20 years older than this version.
But it's so much, and this is why I say that the comic book videos have to be especially engaging because they're trying to bring in fans. But sometimes Lewis or Nash will just go off on Twitter about some DC or Marvel thing, and you're great guys, by the way, good people, but and I'm just reading this and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then someone else will be like, right, yeah, but you forget, Nash, that in 1963, in the one special issue that only every other state got, oh my god, and then
I'm just saying the continuity
it's just so confusing, and you're like, no, but see, that was the 75th Wolverine. This Wolverine is a girl, and she's bisexual.
No, that's X-23.
It's so confusing.
I'm just saying that this version, the Deadpool from the character and the way that they've done Colossus does not seem to perfectly line up with the other X-Men movies, and that's fine. The tone, completely different tone, that's fine. This actually feels more like the X-Men comics in film version than the other ones do.
There was a lot of dirty language. I did enjoy that.
The sort of thing the comics do on occasion. But
jokes,
Colossus, the way he's depicted is very accurate, although it's a little bit of a parody. It's like they made him completely into a sort of
paladin?
decent paladin,
sort
of guy.
He had the World of Darkness 1-point merit code of honor.
Yeah.
There's this part where he's he's having this fight with this super strong enhanced
really hot woman.
Yeah. And then he literally punches her clear across a junkyard, this huge pile of debris, and he comes over and he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Because
your boob had fallen out. He's like, on your right. She's like, oh, thank you, that's so sweet. Whoop him, and then she nails him in the cock so hard he goes whoosh, way across.
Yeah, but Colossus in the comics has all that, but not quite to that degree.
And I was like, that's when your code of honor becomes a 1-point flaw.
But he's also got stuff you get him annoyed enough, in the Days of Future Past comic book, whenever Storm died in his arms, he went mad and he killed 5 Sentinels before dying. Mm-hmm. And then in
were they a thing?
No, he was just good friends with her.
Oh, okay.
And
I like Storm.
then at one point after his sister died, he joined up with Magneto for a year.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then he left Magneto's team, came back, discovered his girlfriend, Shadowcat, because he came to see her. Mm-hmm. She was dating this English guy whose power was to have really hot, long fingers, which were hotter than the sun. He could stab things with. That was his entire power. That and being an asshole who smoked. And Colossus...
He could make his own kebab.
Yeah, but Colossus spent the entire issue beating the shit out of this guy with regular strength. Basically put him into a coma because he just had a nervous breakdown over seeing them. That was the last straw. Everything in his life had turned to shit. And
Cheers, man!
Basically, the guy got his revenge too. Before going into a coma, the guy sort of used his blade thing, stabbed Colossus in the spine with it, and left him almost crippled. What they had to do finally was put Colossus in a coma and use this laser to superheat his metal flesh and reshape it, sort of like a ceramic thing, into the shape of a spine and everything, and hope that whenever it cooled down and he turned back to flesh, it would be normal again.
Was it?
Yeah, but Colossus in the comics does. Darkseid, so he's not like the pure version of this. But,
okay.
So that's like a parody of him.
Okay.
But yeah, I love Colossus. He's great. He died for your sins and then came back again because comics.
Yeah, everybody lives. But I mean, yeah, I liked the girl that played the girlfriend. She was good. There's had a lot.
Yeah, that's someone from Firefly, I think.
No.
Inara.
That can't be
The companion. Monica Baccarin, I think that was her.
Well, then she's not aged a J then.
It's only been like 5 years.
Honey.
Well, 8.
It's been longer than that.
Has it?
It's been like 10 years since
we're getting
Firefly
old. Oh no.
We are old. But yeah, no. So, and there were a lot of people with bit parts who kept being like, "Hey, it's that guy or it's that character actor. I know that actress from somewhere."
It was really
they were
cool.
in an advert.
It was really cool that Negasonic Teenage Warhead was in an almost perfect screen adaptation of what the X-Men generic costume looks like. I was like, see, Bryan Singer, you can do it in thing, because he's like, no, must have multiple levels of just black on top of black. The only thing that was missing was the belt with the X on it.
Yeah.
And the black is usually actually dark blue, but, nerd.
But yeah, so it was good. I hear it has a small budget, so I hope that they make all the money that they...
Yeah, comparatively small.
Yeah. It's really great because there's this part where he stops by the Professor X's school and everything, and he's like, I'll just wait out here then. So it's really funny how you guys are the only ones I ever interact with here. It's almost like the studio couldn't pay for a third X-Men. He just walks away, and I was like, oh, that's great. But
and it looks like they used at least they used probably the exterior shots, not them actually at the building, but like the helicopter shot was probably lifted from another X-Men film.
Yeah. Because
sometimes the close-ups of the X-Men mansion sign are literally lifted from one X-Men movie and put into another.
That makes sense. They have the footage. Why not? I mean, no
they have the rights for it.
But yeah, I mean, we got the trailers for... We didn't... See, Film Brain always says what trailers he gets. And he got more trailers than we got. And he got better ones.
No, he got all the ones we got. Just a couple extras.
Yeah, he's got more. Like, we got Batman versus Superman.
Civil fucking War.
It's one for Civil War.
X-Men Apocalypse.
X-Men Apocalypse, which I'm actually interested in. I do have a really soft spot for the X-Men films because I did watch a few episodes of the TV show when I was little, because I think it came on right after something else that I watched on Saturday morning, so I'd occasionally catch it.
I gotta show you First Class at some point, because you've still not seen it.
See it eventually. But I saw the first X-Men movie, and that just blew my little mind. I was in love with that. But, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we got the one Grimsby, which has got, it's Sacha Baron Cohen. I almost said Simon Baron Cohen.
That would be a very different film.
Dr. Baron Cohen in his newest film.
And Dr. Baron Cohen and his brother, the spy.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like,
his cousin, the actor.
He lectures the evil spies about autism, and they're finally, Doctor, I think I might actually be suffering from spectrum. Could you give me suggestions? And he turns into like a therapy session.
He'd be like, read my book on autism. Actually, I want to read his book, Science of Evil, because somebody was talking about it on a thread on the psychology subreddit. But anyway,
I was really amused by Grimsby, only on one level. Most things I just thought, okay, it looks like a slightly more competent Johnny English, but the spy brother guy, it was Mark Strong, who, if I remember correctly, was Q. Or the Q figure in Kingsman. Although he was Scottish in that, I'm like, just in my subconscious I can squint and pretend this is a Kingsman spin-off.
Well, I mean, it looked to me like, don't take this the wrong way, your stereotypical Sacha Baron Cohen movie. Like, I might be interested in seeing it, I might not. Sometimes his humor strikes for me, and sometimes it doesn't very hit. Like, Borat, it was funny, it was a funny premise, but for me, the entirety of the movie was very hit or miss. So, I mean, if you like Sacha Baron Cohen, go see it. But Film Brain got some other film that I'd never heard of, and he got the
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah, and I want to see
which features Charles Dance and Matt Smith. We could watch the trailer, right over there. There's a TV where we could.
I wanted to see it right then.
Oh.
I haven't read the book.
Well, when you found out that he saw it, you were on the bus, so you were to see it right on the bus. It would have made it more interesting.
No, I meant like right there at the thing. I would have rather seen that than the trailer for Batman vs. Superman.
Oh, yeah.
I want Deadpool to make all the money that they think Batman versus Superman will make.
I'm pretty sure Deadpool's getting the Fan4stick 2 spot that they'd announced before Fan4stick 2 came out.
I love that. Hey, we saw an advert for XCOM 2, and I was like, wait a second, is that the epic voice guy from Honest Trailers? And you were like, yes, it is.
Sounds like him.
I was like, yeah, good job, epic voice guy, getting voiceover jobs.
Deadpool in this does not. You can see. You've seen the trailer. He does not look as horrible as he does in the comic, which is a bit of a disappointment.
You know what he looked like? He looked like the aliens from balls. I can't think of it. It was a TV series that they did way back in the day, and then they did like a 1 or 2 season.
Alien Nation.
Was that it? Where like
Alien Cop and
yeah, and his daughter's kind of like a bit of like a rebel, and for the aliens drinking turnt milk, it makes them drunk.
Yeah, it was basically they came like as refugees or something, and they were trying to integrate into society.
Yeah.
Although I don't see him looking too much like them, but
like the head patterns. Yeah, kind of giraffe head patterns like that. It reminded me of it.
As aliens, they look more like the Skreans from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and they had a one-off appearance in Deep Space Nine in season 1. Oh, yeah. They were like Gamma Quadrant refugees.
Oh, I tell you what was kind of sad though, like. Usually, there's the parts in the Marvel film where someone dies and it's really sad, or something horrible happens, really depressed about it. But what was really affecting, and I didn't expect it to be this way, was like, he has this little voiceover about cancer, and he's like, the worst thing about cancer is not what it does to you, but what it does to everybody around you. And like, his girlfriend has to talk him out of leaving, because he's like, I'm not going to subject you to watching me die of cancer. And she's like, no, but see... And, like, I know 2 people who are both dealing with, like, a resurgence of cancer, and I was just like, oh, God. I hope everybody lives. I hope I knew that Ryan Reynolds...
gets superpowers.
Yeah, I hope that Ryan Reynolds... No, I meant, like, everyone in the movie, like, I hope Ryan Reynolds lives, and, well, I know he will then become Deadpool, but then I became really worried that, like, his girlfriend would die at the last minute at the end. Because, like, I'm like, oh, it's a tragic thing, but we know that he'll be fine, and will die of cancer because he becomes Deadpool. But I'm like, but we don't know that about her. And then, like, when, like, the little animations came, that he was seeing the hallucination animations, and the little horsey comes and licks her face, and I was like, oh, he's gonna put a katana right through her head right now. And I was waiting for it to happen, and I was about to cry, and then that didn't happen, and so.
It is a bit sad that they, the biggest change I've noticed to Deadpool's personality is that they made him start off as a nice guy. Like, he was special forces and then mercenary type, and then he was doing sort of like, helping people out in the community. Mm-hmm. That does not strike me as Deadpoolish before he became Deadpool. And then even took, for the first like 10 years of the comic character's life, he wasn't an anti-hero. He was basically a villain. Came in and...
Well, no, maybe like it was kind of the whole like Cadfile, like did horrible things during the war, and now trying to make up for that, like on purpose. But then drawn back to their killing people with guns ways.
It could be.
Except that never really happened.
I got the feeling they softened the character from the comic version.
I don't know why they had to, because it was a 15 rating here, and it's been rated R in America.
Yeah. I would have just had him be...
and it was shown uncut in the UK.
Yeah.
Because apparently that was a shocker.
Yeah, I would have just had him be the sort of guy who can be the good guy or the bad guy, depending on the circumstance.
All right. You know what this movie needed 1,000% of?
Stan Lee.
Well, yeah, that was
Stan Lee in a strip club.
I was saying to some coworker, we were talking about it, and I think it was my coworker Garvin, and he was saying that if Stan Lee shows up as a cameo in the Deadpool movie, Deadpool would probably recognize him as Stan Lee.
Probably.
And then I was like excited for that to happen, and it didn't. So.
Well, I was sure that because I knew Lloyd Kaufman and Stan Lee were both going to turn up in Guardians, and I was sure they would turn up as a 2-headed alien.
Ah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but then of course that didn't happen. That would have been brilliant. Like actually,
they could have just like got them to like mocap faces. And just done it with
and get Mel Brooks as well.
Ah, the 3-headed old Jewish man alien, as seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. If you are a 3-headed old Jewish man.
So if you happen to watch this James Gunn, or if you know James Gunn, suggest that for the next Guardians film.
I like this idea that we have like James Gunn will be watching our vlog and be like, that's a good idea. And I don't see a trademark on the bottom of that film. That's
and fun. If we see Guardians of the Galaxy and that happens,
we'll know.
We'll want a $5 in the mail, James.
What was I gonna say? No, it was a good movie. Their bar gave me a very very Foot Clan type hangout from Turtles 1 kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Except for grown-ups with alcohol. But yeah, no, so it was good. So, but you didn't need us to tell you that. So if you're into it, go see it. I'm thinking it's out in America tomorrow, is it not?
I think so. Well,
tomorrow
from here,
yeah.
which is probably the day when you're getting this, so...
Yeah. Because we are in Greenwich Mean Time, so we get everything.
Yes, we are the official time zone of the planet.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
Hoity-toity. Ooh, I have tea.
You never have tea, not even when you're sick.
I was just pretending to be...
I only have tea when I'm sick.
Monocle.
I have coffee, though. Do you know, if you just want regular coffee, just regular drip coffee, you have to ask for an Americano. Because a lot of times, like the first time I went to Starbucks in Forsyth Center, the mall where I work, I was like, yeah, can I just have a grande coffee, please? Room. What? I have Americano? Oh, yeah, what's your name? I was at a coffee shop the other day, and I'd already had an energy drink in the morning, and it was freezing cold, and I was wet from walking in the rain. And so I wanted coffee, but I didn't want that much caffeine, so like, maybe they do decaf. And I was like, you just do decaf? He goes, only instant. And I was like, I'll have that. He's like, are you sure it's instant? Oh, as if like, oh no! Not instant coffee, but yeah, so...
Let's take a moment just to think about how amazing it is that that film was actually made.
Yeah, considering all that. Well, you know what?
Considering how risk-averse, especially Fox
what?
are.
I had... You know how if you watch a YouTube video and then you just let it play on if you have autoplay enabled? Mm-hmm. Well, I was doing something, I was looking at articles for school on my laptop, and I had YouTube running on the PS4, and I had watched one of the newest Let's Drown Out from Yahtzee and Gabe, and then it just went into like a random other one. Mm-hmm. And this was one from a few years ago, where, you know, Gabe was like, oh no, they always say things are going to happen, but if it's not in post-production, I don't believe it. You know, like, oh, they're making a Deadpool film, oh no, it's not really going to happen. And I was like, lol.
Especially considering Fox's last attempt at it was in X-Men Origins fucking Wolverine.
I didn't mind that, and I thought it was cool seeing all the lives
you've seen the accurate version of how Deadpool is.
Yeah.
We'll rewatch the parts of that with Deadpool so you can see exactly how much they fucked him up in that film. That's what upset people so much.
But yeah,
it's a bit like having Batman in a movie and then having him turn up and have him be naked and just rub pineapples over his nipples, and that's his entire part of the film. It's just inaccurate. It's really interesting in its own right, but not
pineapple
accurate.
Slices, like he's gone like this with the rings around his nipples,
yeah,
or like
obviously rings.
He's a big whole pineapple.
He'll look like Wonder Woman if he has whole pineapples.
I didn't know. You have to describe these. I didn't know what she was talking about. Did you? No. But yeah, so we enjoyed it. I'm sure you will. You know, you're already gonna go see it.
Oh.
I tweeted that we were about to see it. Like 17 bisquillion people favorited the tweet. So what?
In Deadpool 2, where they announced who's going to be in it, and it is good. But
I had no idea who they were talking about. Two people behind us go, yeah, oh yes, and I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about?
But no, this is just my thought, because based on what the film is like and things like that, and they're using the more obscure X-Men, or they're making ones up, or they're just going for the silliness. Mm-hmm. I want fucking strong guy, Guido Carosella. Oh, he was brilliant. He was in X Factor, and it was like this government-sponsored super team led by Havoc, Cyclops' brother, and Guido Carosella. He'd appeared there. He's got the power of he absorbs kinetic energy and he turns it into his strength, makes him stronger, and he released it by punching. Unfortunately, when he was like 12, he was hit by a truck, and it basically meant that his entire top half of his body became horribly disfiguredly strong. So he's like Hulk size there, regular size there. So he's just really, really horribly sort of mutated. Because you can't get rid of it. Eventually he has a heart attack because his heart can't handle it anymore. But Strong Guy was standing there, they were unveiling this new government super team, and then this reporter was like, oh, that guy there, the big guy, he must be the strong guy. There's always a strong guy, that's the strong guy. Hey, strong guy, what's your code name? And then he's like, strong guy? And then Havoc's like, you can't call yourself strong guy, that's ridiculous. And he's like, why is it any more ridiculous than Superman?
You can't say that it's copyright.
And he had no answer for that, and he's been strong guy ever since.
Well, good for him.
He's awesome.
So, Deadpool. That's what we were here to talk about. I mean, we're done talking about it. No, but like I said, you know, you didn't need us to tell you to go see it, so go on. Go see it.
Yeah,
and
strong guy and multiple man.
Never get the 273 from Belfast to Derry.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Took 3 fucking hours.
Fuck through Oma and 6 Mile Crossing. You don't want that.
But see you guys later.
Bye.
We're doing another Backseat critique later on. It'll be up in a day or two.
Or something like that.
Bye-bye.